Klaatu Niktu Barada.
Whatever happened to me when you cursed me?
Welcome to the Hollow Chronicles podcast. Josh and Andy, as usual. Thank you for catching us online in the chat.
We started on time.
We started
it's
on
7
time
on the
tonight.
button.
Thanks for catching us on the rewind. Those who are listening to us at a later time. Fun stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to discuss. We kind of have two main topics and then a pivot, right? We're going to talk about some projects, people that we know are up to, and we want to promote them. Not that we're getting anything out of it, but they're just awesome people and their projects are cool. And we want to make sure as many people know about them as possible in case they're in the position to spring on them or want to. Secondly, there's a little discussion that happened in a Screen Rant interview between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, my friend. And it's worth having a brief discussion about it, even though it does not matter at all.
Yeah, it does. It's
nothing that we talk about really matters.
Zero. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing.
But we're going to bring it up. I want to hear what some of you guys have to say, and I want to hear Josh's response to it. We're going to take a debatable position and have a little chat about it. But, Josh, are you down with other people's projects?
I am down with other people's projects.
You know it. You know it.
Hold on. Weren't you supposed to explain how you opened?
Yeah, I guess I probably should. The phrase Klaatu Niktu Barada. Anyone in the chat know what that's from?
Klaatu Niktu Barada.
It predates Star Wars, but it was used
and it was brought up by our friend Rook from the Rook and Titus show.
Mm-hmm.
Uber nerd, admittedly, and proud of it.
Nerd,
badge wearing, badge showing.
He's not only a member; he's the president.
He does the whole like flip, drops a nerd badge down. He even stopped by tonight to remind us how much of a nerd he was by giving that out. And actually, I was really proud of you. I had no idea. My nerd badge is back behind some cards. Yeah. And you came up with the answer pretty, not so quick, but quick enough.
Well,
it came from outer space.
JD is right.
Ish.
That is not the origin, but it was used, much like it was used in the creation of the 3 Star Wars figures, as a nod to something that actually came out, I think, in the 50s.
Yeah. A movie and then again in 2008 or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
CADS.
That's also Army of the Dead, right?
Yes. Also Army of the Dead. But it's still not the origins.
Not the origin.
We'll give another second, see if anyone in the chat.
That he told me the name of the recipient of that phrase.
Yeah.
I hope he's in the chat. Don't say it yet if you are. Rook. It's a really powerful name for a guy that was going to destroy the earth. Gort, I think. There's a clue. Oh,
it's on the tip of the tongue, Brad.
Everyone's Googling right now.
Your brother in the chat.
Yeah, he's perfect.
Yes. No, Sam.
All right, time's up before Google helps them all. Go ahead.
All right. It was the phrase uttered to the alien creature not to destroy the earth from the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still.
No, after tomorrow.
Day the Earth Stood Still.
No, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not the date. I thought
The
that
day
was...
the Earth stood still.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Whatever. We'll get
Klaatu,
corrected.
Nikto, Barada.
There it is. Matt got it. He confirmed. Klaatu, Nikto, Barada. And it was Gort. Who's the bad guy? Is Gort?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gal was supposed to say that to Gort to keep him from annihilating.
He dropped his visor. He was going to blow up the world.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Well, but that's kind of cool. That's like come on, Lucas. Lucas can't come up with all the alien names. He's like, let's name these guys Klaatu, Nikto, and Barata, and then we're done.
Yeah.
And then
Easter eggs.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Why is it doing this to
I
me?
don't know.
All right.
Trying to blur you out to keep your
I keep my
visage
rhetoric under check. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's what that's from. The 3 characters in Star Wars are named after the phrase "from the day the Earth stood still."
Got it.
There you go. And if you didn't know,
and you can get
now you know.
You can get one with a skirt and one without.
Right. There's 2 versions of
Klaatu.
Yeah.
There you go.
Skiff and
non-skiff. Skiff and
pre-skiff.
It's pre-skiff.
All right. JD. This is a great segue. JD got his book.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Got the good book.
If there's ever a guy that could heft that book, it would be JD.
This leads us right into other people's projects. As you know, we've been spouting off about the Red 5 guys and the books that they've worked on and put out and are going to put out. And that got me thinking, you know what? Who are some other people that we know that have projects going on that Star Wars collectors, fans of Star Wars would love to see? Maybe they've never heard of, maybe they haven't had a chance to get their eyeballs on some of the things that people we know in the fandom are up to. So I'm going to share my screen.
Do it.
And I think, after each one of these that we share, I think you should play the music.
Okay. You got it, man. Dude, I didn't load it for nothing.
It's fact. It's factual. View tab in StreamYard. And bang.
We'll go down low.
Our buddy, Jason W. Chrisman, who we've had on the show.
We have.
Who we've met in real life a few times.
More than a few.
At Rose City Comic-Con, at Star Wars Celebration, at SummerCon.
Yep.
He was up there.
Any con.
In the Pacific Northwest.
Con Air. We were on the same plane.
He will be at Star Wars Celebration in England. Has another print for the exclusive Star Wars Celebration print. And if you know us, you know that we're big fans of his, that we both, Josh and I, have pieces of art of his within our own little galleries.
Yes.
And we lovey.
Over here. What does this make you feel?
Yes. How do you feel when you see this? But
awesome.
But he's the man, and he's got another minimalistic print that's been approved by Disney and Lucasfilm to be a part of their.
And we told the story, right? Like, it takes some effort to get approved.
Yeah, and he's gotten a few now.
Yeah.
And this is the latest one with the probe droid.
Big ups to Jason.
Big ups to Jason and his use of light in his minimalistic style.
Even if you look at this, and he doesn't do this like tonight. This takes him, like, one of them, he said it took him like 8 months. And when you look at it, you're like, well, 8 months. And then when you look at the lighting that he takes care of, and I don't know, the feels you get. Look, you can even see behind.
Right. There's always layers.
There's layers. Like
stuff.
Right here in this image that we're looking at, which is small on my screen and probably smaller on yours. It's like there's the meteorite, so to speak, of when a probe droid comes into the atmosphere. In the background, there's obviously snow speeder, and then the laser beam, and then just, I don't know, one of the brighter moments in Star Wars is Hoth. It's a very bright, vivid, even more so than Tatooine, which is kind of yellow. Obviously, we have the white snow, so it just captures scenes in Star Wars in that minimalistic style. I don't know, in a way that makes you feel like you've been there, but also it's new.
Yeah, fresh.
If that makes sense.
Fresh eyes.
Yep.
So there are 200 of these that are going to be available for purchase through Star Wars Celebration
Pre-order, right?
Pre-order that
Okay.
you can pick up at Celebration. So guys like
JD, who's flexing already. Oh,
Yeah.
don't say hi for
Don't
you
say
guys.
hi,
You
we'll,
son of a biscuit eater.
gun. He's a good dude.
Congrats, JD.
And then Jason will have 50 on hand at Celebration. So like 250 total.
But those will be gone the first day.
Well,
that's what we
probably
experienced at Celebration. It was pretty close.
They
Day
were
2,
they were gone
slim.
Yeah, they went pretty quick. And I would say that on the Star Wars Celebration Instagram page, they showed all of the approved art for because it's not just like you have to apply and you have to get picked and then you get picked over and stuff, but there's 250 of these that are going to be available. And they go to the people going to Celebration first, of course, because it's a Celebration exclusive.
Sure.
Now, oftentimes, I won't say every time because I don't want to speak for him, but he'll have a few that he'll put up on his website that you can maybe get after the fact, but they won't be a signed and numbered piece because those are limited to Star Wars Celebration, or they won't have the logo on them. But he might be able to sell a few after that too.
Well, basically, just keep up on his website if you like his art, which I know Framey's a big fan.
Framey's a big fan. We
owns most of them, really.
He has a few. I think our friend Gary's got one or two. And anyway, really proud of Jason. He's a good dude, and glad for his sake that he got another print approved for the Celebration experience.
Send him out.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get just copyrighted. I tried to keep it under, but it's 5. Even as short as that sounds, it's like 5 seconds. I think 3 is the limit. Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff Barker's in the chat. He never watches podcasts. It's self-proclaimed. I'm not saying anything that he hasn't said himself. Let's see. Let's go to our next. Okay, Chrisman, check. All right, this is a guy that I got to meet. Josh, I don't think you met Bill Alexander from 2797 Studios. Oh, I have to
come on
in here. Sorry. And he does 3D printing.
Oh,
for 3 3/4 inch scale as well as Black Series scale. And he's got 2 things that he recently put up this week on his Instagram that I thought were pretty awesome and timely. The first is the throne that Bo-Katan sits on from season 3.
Pretty timely.
In her empty castle, essentially.
Brood Katan.
Bummed Katan.
Bummed Katan.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But I thought this was pretty cool. And you can paint it up however you'd like, but it's a 3D print model available in both Black Series and Vintage Collection size. So you get her figure sitting on that throne.
First question, are you more articulated in Black Series, or because we got to get the leg thrown over the edge of the chair?
Yeah, leaning on
the arm,
leaning on an elbow.
Yeah, we got to be very despondent.
Yeah.
I like how she always gets approached. We'll talk about this later, maybe. Like she's all alone. And she only sits in that throne
with that robot.
You wish somebody would have 3D printed her like a comfy bed to just be depressed in, but no.
Yeah, at least the throne that Boba Fett sits on, in Jabba's palace had some throw pillows on.
Yeah, and a hookah. Supposedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. But this was the first one, and let's see if it'll work if I Okay, did that show up?
Yep.
Okay, this is obviously the Emperor's throne room. This is made for Vintage Collection scale that you can pose figures in, of course. You can paint if you want to, because again, it's just 3D printed. It would come to you printed and maybe not quite all put together. You'd have to do a little assembly and a little paint. I think you can buy painted and assembled versions. They just cost a little bit more.
Sure.
Maybe double. I don't know. But these are all on his website. Again, Bill Alexander. I met him. I had the chance to meet him at Celebration.
I did not.
Nice fella.
Good.
Yeah, good dude. That's why I'm more than happy to
obviously making cool
promote his
stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And this is the 3 3/4 inch size is made to fit in a Detolf shelf. So
nice move.
Good move there, right? Good for displaying purposes. So I thought that was an outstanding little nugget to mention, along with, yeah, there you go. Designed to fit an IKEA Detolf shelf.
Detolf. IKEA would be dumb to ever discontinue that product. Yeah.
Was that you're Swedish? Okay, hit the music.
We are.
All right, we are definitely down with other people's projects. Next one, we've got one more anyway. No, two more. We got two more. We got two more here. The next one is from a friend of ours that we gotten to know in the last year, because both you and I purchased something from him, Josh.
Of course we did.
His name is Drew. His name is Drew, and he is all about the collector displays. .uk.
So good.
And what
blurry behind me.
Oh yes, yeah, it is behind you there. Let me pull this one up, and if I hit play,
what's it doing?
That's have
rad.
A coffee table made as a hanger for your Millennium Falcon. This will also fit the UCS Lego.
I don't want to see this. God dang it. That's so cool.
It's so cool.
I don't want to see this.
Josh, golf room.
I know, right? Yeah, get your feet off that, you son of a...
Yeah, use a coaster.
Yeah.
A beer mat.
At one, I want to buy it because my thought is that probably the table is worth more than the vintage Falcon. But if you keep it long enough, when do they meet? I mean, how much is the table? For God's sake.
I don't know, actually. This just went up this
week. What
week.
Would be your estimate?
Well, I know how much one of those, I'd say similar.
Would you say $1,200 American? I don't know. We were at I think we were about that in pounds for that.
No, it was 960 pounds. $960. It was $960, which is like 609. Yes, okay. Almost 700 pounds, something like that.
I think
at the time
probably be 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, $1,000. Figure $1,000
or $1,200. 1,000 pounds, $1,200. That's where I'm going.
Okay, I think it's a little bit less than that.
We'll see. What I'm doing is, under promise, over deliver.
Well, you're the business guy, so anyway, this is awesome. It looks incredible. It's gonna be tough for me not to get this.
That's really cool. God dang it!
I know.
Problem is, I'm not supposed to buy any of this stuff anymore.
Well,
it lights up.
It lights up and here's the deal.
I'm just watching the video over.
You can, I know, you can put other ships in there.
Probably can.
You could have a Death Star
room full of coffee tables.
It's a Death Star hangar bay. You know how many ships will go in that? Not the Imperial shuttle.
Not the Imperial shuttle.
Every other one. Vader's TIE Fighter Advance, the Interceptor.
You could have them along the side.
Oh, you could put a couple of.
All right.
Okay, fine.
Enough.
Hit the music.
I am down with that.
Are you down with that? We're back.
Yeah, we never leave, by the way. When I play that, you can talk over the top of it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, all of the 100%, Jeff, the lighting.
Yeah,
it's just cherry on top.
It's just very cool. I mean, it's especially if it's plug and play. I've seen a lot of we've seen the Han Solo and Carbonite coffee tables, which are just extreme, right? You're probably paying like $5,000 for those. That one just is really in margins, so to speak. Damn it.
It's a high quality
Well, he only makes high quality
product.
stuff. So I wonder if that's plexiglass or glass.
On that table, it's glass.
I wonder if he ships internationally because glass is an issue, right?
He will ship a plexiglass.
Oh, so you're saying
top.
that one's glass, but
yes, and he'll send specs of the tabletop too if you want to get your. Oh, there's Sam.
we should probably get him on the new to the stream. We should probably get him on the pod. If you give a mouse a cookie.
I love that book. Okay, one more, Josh. He's your brother. Okay, one more that you might be down with. And this one is for you special, Josh. This is not by anybody that we know per se.
All right.
But it is something for you.
Make sure you're hitting the right thing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, damn it.
A Yoda
mythos
statue.
I say mythos. You say mythos.
Tomato.
Let's go the whole thing. Ah, man.
What do you think?
It's kind of cool. Do we have different angles? What's he? So is this this is obviously the
Revenge of the
Dooku
Sith
battle? No.
Nope. This is the Palpatine
battle. All right.
You see that round thing?
Yeah.
Is the little hover seat thing that the senators use.
Oh, okay. I did not get that at first glance. It's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, this was posted today on yakface.com for more images. Go there. Actually,
maybe backlight, maybe some LED action going on within the Senator shuttle. But yeah, I like it. I don't hate it. Trying to figure out if like what's our scale. I want to see more images.
Well, let me see if I can. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is the only image that came up.
Thank you to Yakface for
posting
posting the good stuff. Oh, here we go. Is that his project or
that
would be
Sideshow.
Sideshow's project.
Sideshow project.
We like your project. Perfect.
Other people's projects. All
nice.
Right. I feel good about that. I like promoting good stuff, and whether it's cheap or whether it's expensive, it's good. I feel like all this stuff is good.
Scale of 1, like how do you rank them? Not scale of 1 to 10, but rather 1 through 4. What do we have? 4 or 5?
4.
We had 4.
So, well, I can tell you that I'm getting a print from Jason.
Yeah, you're getting a Crispin print.
I'm getting that for sure. I want the table.
Okay.
I love the Bill Alexander 2797 3D print stuff, prints. But I don't get modern Star Wars anymore. So I'm going to enjoy that in somebody else's collection. And then I'm not going to get the hot toy. I think it's awesome, but I'm not going to get it, or the sideshow. I'll leave that to you. Tell you what, I'll get the table, you get the sideshow.
Screw you. Because your order is only one off, because I can't say I'm getting. Actually, it's not one off. It's probably right on. No, it's not even on. I want that table. I want a Crispin.
Okay, wait. Let's play this.
I know. This when you said that, I was like, you just said the thing that we talked about doing.
I know.
You
want to do it?
We can. Throw the sideshow out.
Okay, sideshow out, because we don't know the people at sideshow. So we're gonna play.
What does it stand for though? The first one.
F, Marry, Kill.
Yeah.
We're gonna play F, Marry, Kill with the table.
Freaking buy it.
With the print, and with the.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about. We had a hard time coming up with. This is not easy, so this makes it very hard. So which one you have to have? Which one? No, No, I'll actually reverse this.
Need,
the marry
want, toss.
Yeah, but I think it's reverse because the need is marry, or the need is marry. The F is want, and the kill is you'll give it up for the other two.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So
you're gonna buy it and then probably sell it down the line in 2 years. A classic Andy move.
Buy it and get rid of it later.
Yeah. So I would most definitely kill the 3D prints. No offense, it's an awesome project. I don't even like to say kill. Pass on the 3D prints.
Yeah.
I would F Crispin. And I'm marrying that table, baby. Come to me, sweet Bertha.
The light hits it just
You're
right.
welcome, Crispin.
Yeah.
What? You'll be fine. You'll remember it.
Got a little steamy in here.
I don't know if we should play this game, but yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I do the reverse of okay. So
Okay, say it. You got to say it out loud.
Yes.
You can't say the reverse.
I kill the 3D print.
Okay,
I already told you I'm gonna pass on that. I'm gonna pass on that just because it's
still awesome.
It's not what I collect, right? Of course, it's still awesome, but
especially because it fits in the
Detolf shelf, yeah,
Detolf,
which I do have 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah, I think you have 2 of mine.
I marry Crispin.
Okay, all right,
and I F the table.
That's no moon. Oh, God dang it. All right. We already got participants in the chat. G-Force with an F print, M table, and K3D.
Yeah.
And I think the 3D may not, like, we should have thrown it out and thrown the sideshow in, because the 3D is really kind of a like preference, like it's a specific for your collection.
Right. It's to enhance. Well, so is the table.
I mean, but it's hosting the vintage Millennium Falcon
or the Lego UCS.
Yeah. All right, we got Bread on Fett with these killing the 3D or the sideshow. We'll just plug it in there. I hate to, because I really like the 3D stuff. I prefer to support the 3D guy instead of the sideshow guys.
You are a 3D printer guy.
He's gonna marry the print and he's gonna F the table. All right, so I think that's your book.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, he's not wrong. What's up, Geek Strong?
Whatever, man. Whatever. Show up to your 20-year reunion with that print
on your arm, little arm candy, little table candy.
Oh man!
All right, we're gonna play this game again. I like this game.
I told you.
All right. Let's see. How do you transition from
I don't know how you do. Sure. It's like this. All right, next.
All right.
Star Wars news.
Let me start by saying this does not matter at all.
Okay.
We may get wound up with some minutia here, but ultimately it does not impact our love of Star Wars, past or present,
or even remotely.
Yeah,
like touch it. It just intrigues.
This was just an interesting conversation. It was barely even a conversation between Favreau and Filoni in an interview.
Oh man, I was supposed to get my different hat. You forgot to remind me.
Is it close?
I mean, it's close enough. It'll take me 1 minute.
All right. I'll read the interaction between the two. You go get the hat.
Roger that.
Okay. All right. The Filoni and Favreau were talking. They're being interviewed, and the conversation came up about Luke being a Jedi, and then that sparked this little conversation that between the two, showrunners of The Mandalorian, and I mean the two guys in Star Wars that really have a lot of steam behind them, Dave Filoni says the interesting question is how you define when someone is a Jedi. That's the real question, because the Jedi is a way of training. It's a way of philosophy and being. And Favreau says, well, Grogu trained with the Jedi. And Filoni, which I'm surprised his take on this was like what it was, but he says Grogu trained when he was young, and so did Luke. Yoda didn't confirm that he was a Jedi. Remember, he says, "Oh, you think you're a Jedi? Not so fast." He had to pass the trials. And Favreau says, but he also said, "You'll be the last Jedi when I'm gone," which, was not exactly accurate now, and it's not even accurate from what we know at that time back then. Yoda knew that there were others that had survived. Thanks to Rebels and Clone Wars and Mandalorian and Fallen Order, and there were a number of Jedis that were still kicking around. Ahsoka was still out there, and then so he says, but Yoda also said, "You'll be the last Jedi when I'm gone." And Filoni says, "That's interesting. We've had a few more pop up." So Josh, are you on the screen?
Ready, buddy?
Okay.
I got you.
You got okay. So Josh is going to take the viewpoint of Filoni, who's like, well, maybe Luke isn't. Maybe we should think about whether or not Luke's a Jedi. And Favreau's like, he's a Jedi. He's a Jedi.
Yeah, so I have my Filoni hat on.
Yes, your Filoni cowboy hat. And, if Favreau was known for a certain kind of hat, I'd have looked for one, but he's not. So I'll just be Favreau. So as
happy wear. Whatever.
So Josh, why wouldn't Luke be a Jedi?
Well, the main things are, as we've seen through, various, canon at this point, is Luke was never a Padawan, right? So, I think name another Jedi that wasn't necessarily a Padawan. Jedi. And really all you can come up with is Luke, or perhaps you can come up with Cal Kestis, perhaps. But no, he was a Padawan.
He was a Padawan.
Yeah, see, so I'm trying to throw it out there. So if you just wanted to go from principles alone, of Jedi principles, even through the prequels, they were all Padawans. Anakin was a Padawan.
Right, and Yoda even says he's too old.
He's too old
to start.
So he was even denied, that was even maybe where the point where they could say, okay, I will make you my Padawan. He never did. So if you were to say that there was a series of initiations or initiates that had to happen for you to achieve the rank of Jedi Knight, which Luke ultimately did in Return of the Jedi, right?
Allegedly
at this point. Fucking, I just glanced down. I shouldn't have. The elderly, while slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose. He just, and even if you were to take if you were to try to make his time with Obi-Wan some sort of training experience, that's literally a trip through light speed, which I don't know. We don't know what the time that it took to get from Tatooine to Endor's wreckage was, but was that enough to be a Padawan? No. And then after that, he shows up with Yoda. Yoda say that line again. He's too old.
He's too old, yeah.
Yoda spends some time with him. They do some backpack runs. He's never technically a Padawan at that point. He's not saying, does he ever call Yoda master in Empire Strikes Back during his training? Question.
Master Yoda? Does he say Master Yoda?
I'm asking you.
I think he does.
As part of, you think? Do we have facts?
No, I'm pretty sure he does.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure he does. So, I'm not even sure that he utters his name ever in Empire. Think about that. So it's only Yoda telling him his name. He goes, I'm looking for a great Jedi warrior, which is Yoda.
Right. Wars do not make one.
Right. So even then, Luke is never treating. Yeah, I know it's still. This is pouring in. I'm not looking down, you son of a bitch. You look at me in the eyes, in my cowboy hooded eyes.
Continue.
So there's my argument. My argument
So you're saying
my argument is from two directions. One, he was never declared a Padawan. Two, he was never declared he never declared a master. Obi-Wan wasn't his master. Obi-Wan was his friend. He called him his friend. And Yoda was never his master until, I think he says Master Yoda and Jedi, but I could be wrong. He might just call him he might even call him by name in Jedi. There's a fun fact.
I think he does in the hut, in this little hut when he's
before he fades. I get it.
But so you're saying that Yoda trained him to use the Force, gave him some pointers, because it doesn't. Some time passed while he was on Dagobah.
Sure,
but we don't know how.
And we don't
long.
know, and we don't know because now we're getting
because it had to have been. I mean, a year maybe at the most.
It's killing me.
And so he got some training, but
howdy partners.
Does a year's worth of training a Jedi make? So traditionally,
was it a year?
Well, even if it was like,
it's hard to tell.
3 months. Yeah. Okay. So like in the past, like being a Jedi was started as a young kid, like a youngling, right? Into Padawan. And then you had to pass the trials. Now, Luke seemed to have superseded all of that, gotten some training, and Yoda lays out. So Yoda is one, and it's a council that dons the mantle of Jedi, and it's never been about one person, right? Because that would be, I don't know. It could be a little more willy-nilly if it's just up to one person. But given how there's not that many left, only Yoda could have given or knew enough to claim that you've done enough to become a Jedi.
Okay.
And so Yoda was the only person with authority, in Luke's circle that could don that upon him. And he gave him a trial to do. He's like Filoni said, like, you think you're a Jedi? Not just yet. You have to defeat Vader. And he did. And so he passed his trial. Now, he didn't do all the training before that, but, we're made to think that Luke is exceptional. He's a little bit beyond the normal. And some of that's because of Anakin's son, right? Okay. So the chosen one's son. And so I'm willing to, now Yoda turns out was wrong about a lot of stuff. Even going back to like the prequels, like he was wrong about, the dark side being, and leading the galaxy, and maybe wrong about attachments, and wrong about the, Luke being the last hope.
You're making my point for me. That was my next argument, but continue.
No, but see, he checked off all the boxes. He defeated Vader. And defeated him in a way that redeemed his father, right? And then searched out, and he got those Jedi texts. Read them. Spent the next 20 years trying to build up the next generation of Jedi, teaching them passing on what he had learned, even though he had only learned briefly from Obi-Wan, and then a little bit longer from Yoda before he was gone. And it doesn't give any. Although he does see the Force Ghost at the end of, so like you only get to convene with the Force Ghost if you're on that level.
Now I do apologize. Because I guess I was taking Luke as a Jedi pre the death of Vader. I know. Just click on brand.
No, keep going.
I mean, part of it is if you want to bring the sequels into it, then is old Luke a Jedi? I think from your description and the description of what they depicted with him with the books and etc. So perhaps he could learn himself as Jedi. But like, would you take, like, if you gave me a bunch of law books and then threw me on a deserted island, would you call me a lawyer when you showed back up to meet me? Or would you be like, you've never used it in practice, And unless we involve legends, but we can't because we're only talking about canon. Where Luke in Legends has tons of adventures where he, even in Battlefront, even in all these different, I don't think they're canon, but stop. The hat has gotten at least Matt on a roll.
Yes.
It's big. It's a big hat.
Yeah, Luke and Yoda's time together was basically a TED Talk.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not.
And to your point, Yoda, I think we took Yoda, especially as a kid, we took Yoda as almost omnipotent, meaning he was the
Josh.
last Jedi.
Josh,
What?
Are you able to preside over a wedding or a funeral in the state of Washington?
I mean, via the internet, yes.
Are you licensed?
Via the internet, I am.
Does that make you a man of the cloth?
Absolutely not. By no means.
But you have a certificate.
I do have a certificate. So are you proving my point? You're saying Luke's got a certificate?
I'm just saying that maybe it's not quite as much to be a Jedi as we thought.
Maybe, huh? Maybe there was much to do about nothing. Andy is now enthralled with the comments.
Yes,
we can no longer chat with each other. The debate is done. The debate is done.
Yes,
you guys have won. The real Jedi are those in the comments. This isn't the comment you're looking for.
No.
Josh is a man of the hat. I mean, Matt's all over me right now.
Yeah. Okay. So Luke is referred to as a Jedi by others.
I'm a Jedi Knight like my father.
Yeah, I'm a Jedi like my father. He refers to himself as a Jedi. I think there's more compelling reason to say that he is, even though he did not go through traditional means to do it. But there were no traditional means by which it could be passed on.
Let's go with this theory. Yoda was a crazy hermit. He had locked himself down. He's not omnipotent. He was a wise master. He's not omnipotent. He locks himself down on Dagobah. And according to legend, he locks himself down on Dagobah to contain a dark force. Okay, whatever he does, he's running, he's hiding. Up shows a kid. He's like, shit, man, we might have a chance here. He plays a little coy, plays a little badass. He's too young, but still trains him, gives him the rough stuff, lifts an X-Wing up, shows him the force is real. But this guy's a nut. He's a complete nut. The temple's been destroyed. He has no credibility anymore. There's nobody to back him up. There's no senators to be like, oh, that's Master Yoda. He's a complete nut. He's a war veteran who's out on the street.
Well, a lot of propaganda too out there on Yoda. Like,
absolutely.
He's
I'm not
crazy.
I'm not talking trash. What I'm saying is like this is what he's perceived as by anyone else other than Obi-Wan / Luke. He's a nut. He's a nut job. He's complete, like he's crazy. He's a hermit, admittedly. He's just gone and hermited up on. He hasn't done anything to help the galaxy. I mean, Yoda's a complete creep at this point. He's gone. He's doing nothing. Up comes Luke. He's got some ideals. He wants to save his friends. He's going to travel to Bespin. He's going to do all this stuff. And Yoda's like, no. Stay here and hide. Stay here and train. Hide, train, hide, train. Yoda's a complete, absolute head case. Okay? And then Luke leaves. And Yoda's like, fine. You won't ever complete this fake training you've been doing. And then at that point, Luke...
No, there is another.
Luke has the mantle of craziness where he can just declare himself a Jedi Knight. By the way, this hurts me to say it all. It's the hat talking.
It's the hat talking.
It's like freaking Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh. So many hat lines down here. G-Force, I like this point. When the Emperor says, so be it, Jedi. Like, do you think he's like dripping with sarcasm?
Sarcasm.
Like,
I 100%. Look, I don't think before this,
Jedi.
Before this debate, I don't think Palpatine was anything but sarcastic. Like, you piece of crap. You're nothing, man.
You have no idea.
Yeah. No, I
just stepped into.
Yeah, that's all sarcasm. No problem. Yeah. Thank you, Brett on Fett. Finally, I have a point that isn't the sharp ends of my hat. Yoda has snakes roaming around. I mean, he's a nut. He's a crazy man. He's sleeping on cardboard in any other city that isn't Dagobah.
This one might be a little too soon, Rook. It stings.
Ouch. Obviously not. So, a bad generation of training begets another bad generation of training. Period. That's it. That's it. Obi-Wan died too soon. He already failed one Padawan.
So hang on. Let me try this approach here. Who was a Jedi that would also be able to identify and know if one has become a Jedi? It's Ahsoka.
It's Ahsoka.
Okay. And how did she treat Luke?
With deference.
With reverence, like he's the real deal. And so if anybody were to know,
it's on equal terms. So she didn't, I guess deference is the wrong word. It was on equal terms. It's like, hey, what's up? What's up, youngin? A little bit.
Right, because they had different
She dealt
roles.
with the most powerful Jedi that ever lived. Anakin. Luke is not Anakin. Never has been, but he was enough to beat Anakin.
The similarities are. I mean, she made a comment about like
you're a lot like your father. Yeah. I get it.
So, and she's much older than him too. So, like, she's been around. Luke's kind of the new kid on the block, but has established himself. What they're doing with their Force abilities are in different directions. Like Luke wants to restore Jedi stuff, temple, Padawans, training up the next generation. Maybe it didn't work because he was the only master with like 20 different Padawans.
If anything, Luke is a Jedi mercenary.
Interesting idea.
Ahsoka is from the old guard, properly trained, formally decorated,
formally kicked out,
but formally attempted assassination. But Luke is just a mercenary. He's a guy that he got the gun, he got the body armor.
He's cherry picking
He's
Force
got everything.
users.
He's got some natural ability. He's been trained by a psychotic veteran, and now he's just kind of like he's a Force mercenary, and he's trying to, give himself credibility by establishing another Jedi temple, which will never have any validation. I mean, it's like royal blood. He does have royal blood, but he's never been validated in any way from the Jedi Order. Luke's a poser.
So Steve-O's yeah. But let's just drop the.
Okay, I can take the.
Steve-O says you have to read the recent canon novel Shadow of the Sith if you doubt Luke's Jedi Master status.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. In Legend. Oh, it's canon now?
Well,
in
yeah,
Legend,
this is a new book. Yeah, this is a new book.
Yeah. So I agree. Now I'm done with my feloniousness.
Felonious monk. Okay. Anyway, it was just kind of it was a conversation that two Star Wars nerds were having.
Sure.
And
Dave wasn't even as
he wasn't full
pressing
Dave
as I was.
Yeah, he wasn't full Dave, and I'm not sure Favreau was full Favreau either. Or
quite honestly, my hat was much bigger than Dave's, and I'm not
way bigger. Not that it's a contest,
but it is.
Did you see the comment? Josh, are you hankering for a hunk of cheese? God, I love that. That's a Schoolhouse Rock kind of thing. But it's two Star Wars nerds, two Star Wars nerds having a Star Wars debate, just like any two of us dorks would do. Or it's two guys that are stoned having a stoner conversation.
It's probably both.
It's a stoner conversation, or it's a Star Wars nerd conversation, or it's both. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. Now, we're done with the Star Wars talk tonight. Are we done with the Star Wars talk tonight, Josh?
Yeah.
I mean, text notes.
You use anything for notes, right? Is that a detention slip?
It's a hall pass. It's a hall pass slip that I wrote on the back of. That's what I do. Like if I think of something while I'm at work, I write it down on the nearest piece of paper.
Sometimes kids go potty with with
With-
Jedi lore.
They have something to read while they're taking it too.
Oh, that good one, Sammy. The camera adds 10 gallons.
That is a good one.
All right, let's pivot. Okay, since we got a few of you in the room, you guys are our friends. We wanted, like, we put it in our Patreon, so some of you guys know about this already. We have Andy and I have talked about it for a little while. I've been talking about it for a few years with my brothers and some other people. And it just seems like a few years, meaning like, especially through like the COVID times and all that, where the dark times where we established, I don't know, we have a podcast presence, or at least the equipment to do a podcast slash YouTube segment, whatever you want to call it, YouTube series. And we've always talked about, like, I love talking Star Wars. Andy and I talk Star Wars 90% of the time. But 10% of the time, we talk about real life. Actually, probably more like 30% of the time. And we have great stories and great communications with each other around, I don't know, normal stuff. So we're using Holochronicles a little bit as a platform, because we know that a lot of you out there, and we've looked at our demos, our demographics.
And this is no offense to people that aren't in our demographic, but it is fairly exclusive.
Us
40 and 50-year-old men.
And no exclusion of women.
No.
We have a couple that follow us regularly, and we love it. And we don't think that this is anything that would change that,
steer them away.
Exactly,
because
like
they might be more interested.
Oh, they'd probably be more intuitive to what we have to say too. But we talked about doing something where we get to talk off the Star Wars cuff with the latitude to make reference in our own personal ways to Star Wars if we wanted to. And that's why we asked you guys to, kind of share this with us. So I'm talking too much about this, but we have what would you call it? We've come up with kind of a side, a parallel series
on a different channel.
We're going to take it to a different channel entirely. We hope you follow us there and subscribe to us. We know we'll attract other people, hopefully, that are not completely as versed and in love with Star Wars as you are, but who do care about something that we care about.
And that is
being a good dad.
Being a dad, talking about raising kids, parenthood from childhood to, adulthood. Josh's brothers have kids. I have kids. My brothers have kids, boys and girls, and they're all different. And just stories about our dads, our kids, what it's like being a dad, what it's like being a son.
Yeah. And of course, that's from our perspective, which is the only thing we can offer is our perspective. And we hope to attract other perspectives as well, from any gender, any identity, to be honest with you, really, because each of us has our own experiences, and we kind of thought that would be cool to share. And then even beyond fatherhood, motherhood, whatever you want to call it, just talking about life a little bit, I think, is the main thing.
Like we're gonna have a podcast where we talk about conspiracy theories one of these days.
That's like a total dude thing for like between Andy and I. That's our dude thing to talk about.
I have one that I have just listened to, and I love it.
Sure. So just I guess without too much description, just being a little freer with some of our topics. We're still going to be here for the Holochronicles. We want to make sure that we keep providing ourselves, to be honest, with a way to talk about cool stuff.
So tonight we're going to bring in other people's parentage.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple people that we're going to bring in. Maybe you've seen them before if you've listened to us, but
and we're going to do an official wrap here, and then bring them in. So if you're here for Star Wars and Star Wars only, thank you.
Wait, I didn't think we could do that because the channel's not set.
We're just going to drop them out and then bring them back in. So I'm going to just drop out Holochronicles, and then I'm going to just bring in the other guys, and we're just going to do a little debut of our what we got cooking here. right here on the Holo Chronicles channel.
Okay.
And if you want to stick around and watch it, great. Next week we'll have our own channel for this, so it won't even get in the way of what we do here. So if you don't care for it, then great. We're still going to be Andy and Josh doing Holo Chronicles Star Wars stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Is that too much?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we talked too much. Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to end it right now. Bear with us. We'll be back in a few. Oh, check it out. Our background changed. Oh, dang it. We forgot to do that. Hold on. We can do it right now. Thank you for staying with us if you're here. This is the Dad Pod. And we've got
introductory episode.
Yeah, we're just going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do on the other side of where we're at right now. Joined as always with Andy. Andy, hi Andy.
Yes, that'd be a Papi Andy.
Papi, yeah.
And that's Papa Josh.
Daddy
we got
Andy.
with us the Padre
Phil, and also Father Sam.
Hello.
Boys.
Yeah.
Everyone who's in the room right now knows who we are, Josh and Andy.
Who are you guys?
Phil? You go first.
We are Josh's more handsome brothers.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, now we are his younger brothers. I'm Phil.
Some of us much younger.
Yeah, much younger. I don't even know how old Sam is, but I'm a couple years younger than Josh.
36.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
Okay.
real quick, Sam. How many kids you have?
I have two boys,
2 boys aged.
11 and 4. Sorry.
Wow. Okay, Phil, what do you got?
4 girls. I love that there was a moment of silence for me there. Thank you.
Yeah.
22, 21, 18, and 14.
Damn.
Okay. All right.
And Phil, are you currently in a room that would technically be inside your house? No, bro, you're in your garage. I know it. We all know it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a room that's built into my garage. I believe it was a wine cellar at some point. Then it was a Xbox room, and then it was
It was a room for a guy with 4 girls could go.
Yeah. Yep.
Cigar
exactly.
lounge.
All right, so
and now
bros,
the door has a combination lock on it.
all right, so
Reticle
bros,
scan.
I kind of tried to describe this before we cut over, and now we're in our own space here, which is great. It is a lot of baseball caps. So tell me, we talked about this maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't know. I just want to get your guys' perspective. I talk a lot, and sometimes I get lost in my own words. But like, how did you feel? What did you guys think about getting together as fathers? Which is okay, right? We're 4 guys or 10 guys, however many guys we get on here. What was your guys' first kind of thoughts about what we were going to do with this show?
I was actually hoping we were going to talk politics and religion. Just
Good.
well, maybe I've been misled. I'll just see myself out. No. No. So I think it can be pretentious to think that I have anything to offer as far as advice goes to how to raise kids, because I still at this point feel like I'm just winging it. But
Well, I mean that could be though. Like this didn't work out very well for me.
that's true. That's a good
Like,
point.
there's wisdom in mistakes as well. So
Yeah.
like it's not that any of us have all of the answers, but it's trial and error, especially with that first kid. Poor oldest kids.
Whew.
As an oldest, I can tell you that there was some guinea pig effect going on. But
Yeah.
there's wisdom. There's wisdom in failure. There's the greatest teacher failure is. Somebody said that somewhere once on a different podcast.
On a different podcast about a different subject matter entirely. Yeah.
Sam, what about you?
For me, it was kind of just like, sharing experiences, like trial and error on what it's like to be a dad, and funny stories, funny experiences. Really no advice, because I'm, as the least tenured dad here, I probably have less to offer than any of us.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that though, because all of our kids are different,
That's true.
and because of that, we can lend different experiential knowledge. Because my two kids are very different from each other, and they're different from your kids and your kids,
Yeah.
and your kids, and so like I can give experience about what it's like having a little redheaded pistol daughter. That Sam, maybe you can't know what that's
Yeah,
like.
I think that's what separates me from my brothers, is that I have a different child raising experiences. I have boys and no girls, so I got some different challenges.
Well, yeah, like I'm a two daughter dad. You're a 2-son, 1-daughter dad. So like, yeah, I mean, so anyway, dads is like the main thrust of what we're trying to do here, but I think it's more of a place where we can come in and kind of release a little bit, vent, have some fun. I'm more in tune with laughter, with kind of like joy. I like the deep moments, and then every time we get too deep, the best thing for me is to always cut it with a little bit of humor, and just make sure that we know that, I think I said this to Andy today. I was like, the best men are great dads, in my opinion. And then, and so I feel like supporting young dads out there, or young men out there that are not even dads yet, and to know that like to get there takes a little bit of work and effort, but also don't ever lose your personality in fatherhood. That's the number one thing, is to never lose like who you are as a person. You're important as a influence in your children's lives. So I think that's super cool. And also just to have some fun. Sometimes we need I was joking with you, Phil, that you're in your cave. Like sometimes we need a place to just escape and just talk about crap that nobody cares about. And maybe other people that like to talk about crap that nobody cares about will join us.
I'm tired of taking 20-minute dumps just to get a minute to myself,
Yeah.
Like it'd be nice just to plug in with a couple other guys and just shoot the breeze.
So let's talk about a few things that just off the top of our heads over the last few years that we thought about, that we want to talk about. Obviously, we want to talk about fatherhood. That's why we called it Dad Pod. We also want to talk about fun stories from not only our experiences but from other people's experiences, which opens the doors to guests and to the chat, providing some things that we can talk about, questions and answers, maybe questions and no answers, because we experience that a lot too. Talking about things in the news that interest us. My brother Phil made a great joke when he came in. We do want to steer clear of politics and religion. We just want to keep it in the place that we can all agree on, which is just being good to each other and taking care of people, especially our kids. And then not lastly, but most importantly, just having a nice, safe place to have fun and be respectful of everyone around us and the people we're talking about. That's our kids. We can make fun of our kids all we want. That's open ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
First question,
our
guys.
kids.
First question. Which kid's your favorite?
Oh boy.
Ooh.
So,
Right off the bat.
so I
Shows
actually have an answer for this, if you don't mind.
Right.
So,
Easy answer for me.
if you asked any of my kids who my favorite is, they would tell you that it's Lizzie. Lizzie's my firstborn. But I've always maintained that, okay, fine, she's my favorite, but Vivian, who's the youngest, I would step on all of your necks to save her if there was a house fire. So
Damn.
you can
You threw
figure
that
out if you want.
We already have a topic right there.
Yeah.
Dad lays it out.
Those poor
Well,
two little ones.
when that question first came up, like Vivian's, 7, or 8, or, you know, someone who's very small and vulnerable to smoke inhalation and fire and that sort of thing. So it's like, well, you know,
What's going on in the house?
the other 2 are probably the other 3, 4, 5 people that are in the house are probably going to get out okay. But that little one, you know, you gotta go save her.
Fire in Phil's house. I
Says
feel.
the dad
Yeah.
in the escape room in the garage. I get it.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Panic
definitely
room.
not making it out. There's no smoke detector in here. No, but
Well, the cool thing is we were not here to put a show on. We were here to introduce a show. So I don't want to set any expectations by what we're talking about right now. We'll come with a little more of a formatted program. Not too formatted though. And so we just want to thank everyone that's watching us. We're gonna have a channel up in 24 hours.
In 24 hours.
We changed the name this morning, which is hilarious. We had a different name. Some of you on Patreon saw the name. And Andy ultimately was one that kind of brought it back because I had told him about an idea that I had with these bros we see in the room here, which was Dad Pod. It was like, I just want to get on and I just want to talk about life, anything. And I want it to be a little organic. I don't want to be pigeonholed into one niche area. At least about this topic, I want to be able to just talk. And if somebody comes in and says, hey, I'm having a bad day today, or hey, I'm struggling with this topic that pertains to like real life, I'm not in a social network kind of spew your stuff out there way, but in the like, hey, have you ever gone through this before? I mean, I can give you 30 examples right now that are literally happening to me right now, but we'll save it for our next episode. That I'm just like, guys, what do you think? And so just kind of an organic place where anyone, we call it Dad Pod, but I think anyone that's a parent should be able to show up and give us their input. And that's of all walks of life. So like I said, this is not a show. This is just us introducing what we want to give to you guys. So stay tuned. We actually have, is it or just Dad Pod, Sammy?
It depends on the social media. It's mostly Dad Pod across all social medias, but you might have to add the at the front of some
And
of
we'll
those. I think Instagram.
How would they find us on YouTube?
The Dad Bod.
All right.
Is
Okay.
that handle
So
there?
we'll put it out there. We're not gonna abuse Hall of Chronicles. We'll put it out there for you guys because you're our people. So thank you for watching us. And we will put it out there. It's just a place. Andy and I want to park with my bros and his bros in the future, and bros that show up and broettes. Is that appropriate? Anyway, ladies that show up.
You know, it's funny that we're
Rojanas.
we're debuting a fatherhood and podcast, and talk about man stuff and whatever. I mean, topics are open or anything, but on International Women's Day.
Is that for real?
Today?
Is that today?
Days ago.
That's today.
I was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't today because I already almost made a move that would have really sucked on Facebook when my wife posted a bunch of pictures of her favorite people, and they were all everyone but me. And I was like, what the? I almost commented like, thanks for forgetting me. And then she's like, it's National Women's Day. I was like, oh, dodged a bullet. See, dad move right there. Wasn't doing it out of spite or it was doing it out of complete ignorance. Okay, I like to learn. So I'm going to mark my calendar.
You've learned a lot.
Hey, if it's any consolation, I knew what day it was, but somehow it escaped me. And when later that day I was looking at Facebook and I saw Nicole's post and was like, oh, that everyone but Josh. All right, cool.
Brutal. Anyway, again, that's a dad move right there.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we'll wrap it up. And then just stay tuned. We'll give you some more updates. We've got Andy's got a great conspiracy theory segment he's ready to bring up. Very dad.
Ready.
Very dad. Especially dad in a lazy boy dad. Like sitting back there. He's like, well, you know what I heard? That's the kind of dad we're looking for right now.
Yes.
One right now.
One that folds up his newspaper.
One that folds up slaps it down on the table and grabs his freaking reading glasses and rips them off. And tells you what.
Well, you know who really killed JFK.
Yeah. Yeah. So fun stuff. We hope you guys will guys and gals will join us. Sam and Phil, thanks for popping in. Sam, thanks for popping in super early.
Hey, no problem. Yeah. My face
we
is
learn
still
this.
red from that.
And the
I'm
cool
not sure.
thing is, if you don't care to hear this, you don't ever have to. We'll be over at Dad Pod. We'll still be doing our thing on Hall of Chronicles. Thanks for letting us plug you for this, and we hope you guys pop in. We'd love to hear questions. We'd love to guest star some of you dads out
Yeah.
there.
Dads of the week.
And some of your moms, or even moms to be, dads to be, it doesn't matter, that want to give shade on dads, give love on dads, give whatever on mom. It doesn't matter. It's just a name, folks. It's just a name. But thank you very much. Any last words, boys?
No.
Go to bed.
Yeah. It's nap time.
It's nap time.
Any last words? Who turned up this thermostat?
Yeah.
There it is. Where's the remote? All right. Thank you. Thanks for sticking around if you did. And we'll see you out there.
All right.